Order of operations. When working with problems that have more than one operation in them, we have to follow a specific order. We call this order the order of operations. First thing you have to do is to perform all the calculations that are within parentheses, square roots, and absolute value bars. And if you have any fractions, do the work in the numerator and do the work in the denominator. After that, all of that step is doing stuff within parentheses. We refer to it as doing the work within parentheses. Then we evaluate all of our exponents. Then we do our multiplications and divisions, and additions and subtractions. If you have multiplications and divisions in the same problem, do them in the order that they are written, from left to right. Same thing for addition and subtractions. Do them in the order they are written, from left to right. Here's the summary of the order of operations. You can use the acronym PEMDAS for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. You may also know the saying, be familiar with the saying, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." That can help you remember the P, the E, the M, D, A, S. So let's use the correct order of operations to simplify these expressions. 6 plus 10 divided by 2. The only operations we have here are addition and division. Now division comes first in the order of operations. Well, it comes before addition does. P, E, M, D, A, S. So division comes before addition, so that means I have to do the division step first. So I write down everything else in the problem, but I replace the 10 divided by 2 by the answer of 10 divided by 2, which is 5. So then I'm left with 6 plus 5, which is 11. In this second example, I have a fraction that contains expressions in the numerator and the denominator. So I have to work each of those separate. So I'm going to start with the numerator. We'll call that my first step. So I want to simplify the expression 4 plus 8 times 3 minus 2. Now I have to use the correct order of operations within that expression. So here my first step would be to do the multiplication, because multiplication comes before addition and subtraction. So that would be 4 plus 24 minus 2. Then I add and subtract in the order they are written. 4 plus 24 is 28, minus 2 is 26. So I know 26 goes at the numerator of that fraction. Then I have to do the work in the denominator. 16 plus 5, that's just one operation to do, so that will give me 21. So my fraction here becomes 26 over 21. Now you need to always see if you can simplify your fraction. This particular problem will not reduce. So that problem comes out to 26 over 21. Now I want to show you how you would put a problem like that into your calculator. Your calculator is programmed to do the correct order of operations, but you have to type it in correctly for it to know what to do. So if we're going to type a problem like this that has a numerator and a denominator in it, we need to be sure we type that with parentheses. I'm going to change my ink color so you can see what I'm doing here. We'll change it to brown for just a second. I need to put parentheses around the numerator of my fraction and around the denominator of my fraction when I put it into my calculator. So this will be parentheses 4 plus 8 times 3 minus 2, close the parentheses, divided by parentheses 16 plus 5. Close those parentheses. Oops. Let me go back. That should be 16 plus 5. Now, if I just press enter, the calculator will give me the decimal value. And we don't want to give the decimal value because that looks like it's been rounded off. We want to give the fraction value. So to turn it back into a fraction, press the math key and use the first option. And you see that it does give you the 26 over the 21. It will always give you the fraction in the simplest form when you use that Math 1 enter key. Now here's two expressions that look very similar. One contains parentheses and one doesn't. We do our exponents here as our first step. Parentheses, then exponents. We don't have parentheses, so we do the exponent first. But the exponent is only with the 6. So it really is like having a 6 times 6 for the 6 squared part with the negative out in front of it. So this answer becomes a negative 36. However, if we look at this example, it's negative 6 in parentheses squared. So that means we're going to multiply negative 6 times itself. So negative 6 times negative 6 is a positive 36. So you need to be very careful when you're putting things like this into your calculator also. So let's practice it. The first one I would just do negative 6, and then I would raise it to whatever power. I can use the power button, or I can use the x squared button. And I see I get negative 36. But the second problem, I have to put the negative 6 inside the parentheses in order for it to know that the negative is part of my number. It's not out in front of it. Now, we've got one more here to look at. Here I have parentheses and exponents. I've got a little bit of everything here. So my first step is to do work inside parentheses. So here, the work inside the parentheses is going to be the 3 minus the 5. So I'm going to bring everything else down, not going to change anything that I do except the 3 minus 5. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. That negative 2 will then be squared. Now because of what we just saw with that negative 6, the negative 2 has to go inside parentheses. Now, I did the parentheses. My next step would be to do the exponents. So here the negative is not included with the exponent. So this is a negative 3 to the 4th power. So see, that would be 3 raised to the 4th power is 81. So I have a negative 81 minus 6 times, let's see, negative 2 squared means negative 2 times negative 2. So that would be 4. If you needed to put that in your parentheses, I hope you don't, but if you do, you can do it like that. Now I want to do this multiplication. So I have negative 81 minus 24. Both of these are negative, so I add them and I use the sign. This will be negative 105.